This one, I'm feeling this one right now. What are your thoughts on landlords?
Ooh.
Because I'm moving right now, so this has been on my mind.
You're looking for a
I'm not
landlord.
looking
Okay,
for a
so
landlord.
no, you're looking for a
I'm looking
landlord.
for an apartment. They come with
Hey,
landlords.
yeah, that is owned by a landlord. So there's two ways to go about this. 'Cause I've rented, man. I've been renting since my junior year of college. Um,
Me too.
so you can go with a company or an individual, and there are pros and cons to each. And everyone's gonna list their
I don't
pros and
trust
cons.
companies.
I didn't think I would trust. It depends how big the company is. Like the company is like Wall Street. Yeah, I don't trust Wall Street because that's kind of what's going to happen in America. Wall Street's buying up neighborhoods, so have fun with that. And uh,
Good luck
uh,
getting anything done with a management company.
exactly. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make because it's a lot harder. But then again, they have the means to actually do it. Whereas an individual landlord, there's more room for wiggle room. So like we are living with an individual who owns the whole building. So like when it comes to rent next year, we have more ways to negotiate rents with someone we know personally than a management company goes up. It's just cost living 5% or 6% or 8%.
See,
Take it or leave it.
but on the other hand, a management company sometimes they're spread thin.
They are spread
Meaning,
thin.
like in an ideal world, you're like, oh, this is a company, this is a corporation. They have the resources to get it done.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, they got one guy or girl for to maintenance 30 apartments.
Like landscaping.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
So
you looking in the suburbs, I'm assuming?
I'm no, I'm looking more. Well, I was, but now I'm probably gonna move to Jersey City.
Right. So you think of Jersey City, it's not much landscaping for them to
Well,
do.
I
It's
don't
not
mean
much,
landscaping. I mean just general maintenance. Like
even like plumbing
yeah,
or mailroom security.
general
Yeah.
maintenance. Something breaks, you have an issue. With a you call the management company.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just based off reading the reviews, it's just like it takes reminding, or it just doesn't get done at all a lot of times with
Yeah.
management companies. But I do get your point with individuals. There's more room for that. There's more possibility that a landlord could not have the resources, the
Yeah.
money to actually do what needs to be done.
Oh,
Fix
my
what needs to
landlord
be
does.
fixed. Let's say you like a pipe breaks or something. That's gonna run
Yeah.
an individual a lot of money.
Right. And it's also tricky, right? Because like my grandmother owns three properties, I think, including their own. So they had one in Florida, one down the Cape Cod, and then one in Quincy up in Massachusetts. They rented out the one in Florida and the Cape, pretty frequently when they weren't there. Now, I couldn't imagine if my landlord was in a different part of the country. Like if I lived in Massachusetts, my landlord was in Florida, I'd be like, "The fuck are you doing?"
You're not lording over this land.
Yeah, you're not lording over your lands. Whereas like the landlord I currently have, she's great because she cares about the building, right? She told us they wanted a quiet couple to take care of the place because when she retires or dies, she's gonna hand the building off to her kid. So it's like great. She is invested in her own place. It's not just a profit
There's
margin for
levels
her.
to that level of investment, though.
There
Like
is.
right
There
now,
is.
I'm deciding between all of them had landlords, they're apartments,
Yeah.
but one of them has, and this is a big, I don't know. One of them, and this is the way the world works. It's a devil in a red dress. It's an enigma, right? It's ironic. The
Yeah.
place I like the most, it looks like a home. Marble countertops, beautiful cabinetry, everything's finished, huge living room, comes with a parking spot in
Ooh.
Jersey City. In Jersey
Oh.
City. Mind you, I
Oh.
parked on the curb to see this apartment.
Is it the Heights?
I don't know where it is. I have to look the address.
I'll look
But
later.
no, the parking situation's so bad. I did like the Romans, do like the Romans do. I
Oh
I,
yeah,
I
dude.
was
Parking
I
in
was
JC is a nightmare.
looking as past. I saw the address, saw the number on the door. I looked for parking. There's no parking. There is probably at least 5 cars with like their wheel up on the curb. So I get in this apartment. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's huge. Parking space, as I said, big game changer. However, the landlord lives downstairs, and they are an elderly couple.
Hmm.
And do I want to deal with that?
Well, that you would need to speak. So my advice, put that camera on me. My advice would be you would speak to that landlord, like, what are your expectations of me as a tenant? Like, because I've never lived in a landlord with a landlord in the same building. I would not like that.
I have. This would be my fourth time. Other times weren't so bad, but I was younger. So,
Right.
like, yeah, your actions have consequences, but, like, when they do have the consequences, you don't necessarily care as much. You know, let's
Right.
say you want to play some music and the landlord tells you to turn it down. You just turn it down, but you still turn it up again.
Yeah, you turn up again the
But
next
as an
day.
adult, you're just like, yo, I probably shouldn't do this. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm just like, okay, like, you don't want to, be in a situation where you have to ask your landlord, like, if you're going to have a housewarming. Is that okay? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's like having parents. We're
Yeah.
grown.
Like yeah, it's true. Freedom. So back to freedom. But it's more of like how much can they tolerate? Now, they can tell you don't have people over. You go, yeah, okay. But then you read the lease. Is it in the lease? No. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Pretty much.
Get legal on them.
Yeah, and you don't have that with the management company. I've had a great management company, one in Hoboken. I think it was Applied Housing. People said it was a nightmare. I've had nothing but a great experience with them. They had an exterminator come once a month. Their maintenance people kept the building clean. All the mailroom was like, not the mailroom, but everything was like in a locked cage. Like
What
whenever
were
it comes to
the horror
packages-
stories?
I don't know. Like it's people online and people tell me like this, like they've had horror stories. Like I had never had any issue. I would just email like the person who showed me the property, be like, hey, here's the issue here. They scheduled someone, they came, it got fixed.
But your rent's probably a pretty penny.
Rents back then, it was two of us. It was about $12.75 each. That was 2020, 2019.
I mean, that's a decent. Was that 2-bedroom?
2-bedroom.
That's a decent 2-bedroom.
Yeah.
I mean, was this Hoboken?
Hoboken. And before that, I was paying. God, how much was I paying? It was a 3-bedroom. I split it 3 ways with two other girls. I don't remember how much I was paying, but it was less than that. Maybe it was
All
a
right.
little more. No, it was less.
That
than
is
that.
giving
It
me
was-
the perfect pivot here. This question isn't on the list.
Okay, please.
Living with opposite gender roommates.
I had no issue.
Because you know what
here
they say a lot of stuff. Like it's a bad idea. Because I was considering it myself.
I did. Well, you might have some issues because you're pretty. I didn't have any issues. So what happened to me was, I had moved into Hoboken. 20. It's been 5 years now, actually in May. So I sublet. I took over someone else's room, and there was just two other girls there. Super nice, kept to themselves. Like if you're a guy living with two girls, it's and they were strangers. I had no idea who they were.
I mean, there's some ground rules. It's like, well, the main one is just don't be a creep.
Yes, correct. Personal space. Like one thing I learned about living with women in that way, they didn't interact with each other either. Like they were friends, but they didn't interact with each other. They mostly stayed in their room and cooked and like were in the bathroom. That was
sounds
it.
friendly.
Yeah, I mean they were fun.
No,
they were nice. They were nice girls.
sarcastic, but
Yeah, and one of them had a dog, a corgi, which was just so cute. I miss Mocha. He was a great dog. But I had no issues. We were cordial. We were respectful. I did my podcasts from there. They never knocked on my door once. Told me to shut the fuck up. No problems with music. We all had different work schedules, so it depends on the girls. They moved out. Another girl moved in. She had no. I lived with 5 different girls in that apartment from people moving in and out. I never had any issue. And then when I moved out, it was 2 guys and a girl.
yeah,
And it's so it depends on the people.
yeah. I mean, and
No.
you're not a creepy guy. I mean, I think it's like don't be a creep, don't hit on your roommates,
Yes.
don't take it there.
Yes.
And if you follow and the thing is, they're really easy rules, but for some people,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I would have preferred to live with guys. Don't get me wrong, but I had no problem with any of the girls I lived with. They were all really nice. And then I moved in with Nash, and then COVID happened.
Nash
And
from
now here I am.
Nashville,
Nash from
coolest
Nashville.
guy.
Yeah. But would you ever want to be a landlord?
I think I could. I think. Well, this is
People
what
treat
every
it like a
this is what every
cakewalk.
tenant would say. I mean, this is what every person would say as long as I have a decent tenant. But I've been told that I'm pretty intuitive, like empathic. I'm real big on energy, and I can kind of. I've had the situation where I'm like somebody just didn't rub me right, and I didn't know the reason, didn't act on it, was still polite, respectful, friendly, but then
Yeah.
stuff came out later. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So I think I would probably be able, if I get a good tenant, if I was able to use those intuitive wizard-like powers to choose a good tenant, then I think I'd be pretty cool, and I wouldn't sweat the small stuff, you know. And I probably it also the type of landlord you are also depends on whether you live on the property. I think.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me. So like, there's these like split level houses, or like
Multifamilies.
multi-families where it's like I live in the bottom floor, um, and then someone lives above us or below us. I don't want that, especially if it's a house. That's mine. I don't want to. I don't want to share that. That's mine.
Well, if I do, I'd put the trouble people. I mean, if you could actually, think about this beforehand, I put the trouble
Right.
people on the top. Like I'm thinking a 3-family. The trouble people are on the top. The modest, quiet, don't cause any problem people are on the second. And if
Yeah.
I'm saying if I live there, then I'd be
Mhm.
on the first.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I have no problem owning another
Because
property.
I do want to own a multifamily, but I don't know if I want to live there. But when you're starting off, that's probably how most people start off. They start off living with, and then once they expand, it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to deal with this anymore.
Yeah. But people think it's really easy being a landlord. I'm like, no, it's work. It's
You
hard.
got you,
It's
you
a
got
lot.
a
It's a
you got
lot of
another
work.
set of children that are adults.
Yeah, pretty much.